So to make this barefoot sandal, you will need 1 butterfly charm and 2 accent beads and beads of your choice. It doesn't really matter what size, but I usually use either a 10 or an 11. You can use smaller, you can use bigger. It's basically up to your preference. These ones are a rainbow metallic color, and they're assorted, so I'm just randomly threading them on. There's no pattern. You will also need about 1 meter or an arm's length of fishing line. I usually use a 2 or 3 pound weight. Just make sure that it's thin enough to pass through your beads at least twice. And you will also need a clasp of your choice. So to start, we're going to start at the toe first. So you want enough beads to make a loop that is big enough to nicely fit over your toe next to your daddy toe. In this case, for mine, I have here about 6 1/4 centimeters of beads, and that makes a nice enough loop that it can nicely just slip over my toe on and off. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to find both ends of your fishing line. So, where are we here? So there's one. Okay, so now I have both ends of my fishing line. Just put them together and just make sure that that's about in the middle. Now what you're going to do, you're going to take 1 bead and take both those ends and just thread them through the 1 bead. Just like that. See how they're both going in the same direction through? Okay? And just slide that down. See how it's kind of making the loop tighten? Okay? So now that that's in the center, there you go. So now what you want to do is we're going to do this middle section. Okay? So now depending where you want this to sit on your foot, this one is at the bottom, so it's going to sit lower on your foot, or up here, which would be higher on your foot. So in this case, I have about 5 beads that I started off with. It's about 1/2 inch. And so we're going to do 1/2 inch of beads. We're going to do 1 accent bead, followed by about 2 or 3 beads. And all that's really going to do is just kind of separate it from the accent bead. And then we're going to do another couple more beads, and then another accent bead. Okay? Now we're going to do it the same way we just did that last bead. See, we're going to take these 2 threads and hold them together as if they were one. Okay? And just keep threading them through all these beads. So what you need to be careful of is, see how these are my beads? Now, the hole in your accent bead is going to vary depending on your bead. See how these beads don't fit through? That's fine. If your hole is big enough, like this end here on the front, that is big enough for beads to go through. If that's the case, you're going to want to use, see where that pink bead is? You'd want to use a slightly bigger bead so that it won't fit through. And it'll stop this one from sliding back on your regular beads. So here I have 2 beads and here I have 3. And the reason why, if you look, the hole is big enough so that pink bead kind of gets hidden in the hole. And really you only see the 2. So that's why I added that 3rd one, was to fill that little hole. For some reason one end's bigger than the other, but we can work with it. Now, depending on the length of your foot, we'll decide how many beads you need here. If you have a really long foot, you're going to need more beads. If you have a short foot, you'll need less. So just slip this onto your toe and have this lay on your foot and just roughly figure out how much, roughly what the distance is. And then just, like we did before, treating both of these strands as if they were one. So using both ends like we did here, you're going to thread on your regular beads. And now you have the length of your foot. We've threaded this on both strands of thread. So I ended up beading about, it was about 6 centimeters. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the fishing line and you're going to separate it. Okay? And then on this side, you're going to thread your regular beads all the way around, and you're going to do it again on this side as well. Your fishing line, and on this side you're going to thread, and on this side you're going to thread. And what this is going to do is go around, this is going to go around your ankle. So you want to make sure that that fits comfortably. So what you should do to make sure that it fits is just hold this like this around, so put this around your ankle and then hold this, pinch it just like that, and then slip this on your toe and it should fit comfortable. If it doesn't, either add some more beads here to make the ankle bigger, but if this part's already too big, maybe undo this and then make this part a bit longer. It's up to you, depending on how you want it to look. So now what you want to do is take your clasp, whatever kind you want, and just attach it how you would normally attach your clasp. Okay, so once you've tied off your clasp and attached it however you normally attach your clasp, you're going to want to hide this loose end. So you're just going to want to thread it back through about 1/2 inch or 1 inch. There it goes. Just 1/2 inch, 1 inch. And then just cut off your excess fishing line. There you go. You'll do that to this side as well. So just pretend that's attached. And then there you go. There is your barefoot sandal. Instead of fishing line, you could use a stretchable elastic, and that way you wouldn't need a clasp because it would be stretchy. Then you can just stretch it on and off over your foot. That's just another option you could do.